Alright, welcome back to Sonic Unleashed. In this video we got some stuff we're gonna do. Mainly we got a werehog level to do. But first I'm going to go back to Apatos. Apatos? I don't know how you pronounce that. Because I think now we can go back and play a extra level that we can unlock because we've collected enough Sun and Moon medals. So let's go check it out, if Sonic would stop being literally the most slippery person alive. But we were here in the last video, we just couldn't activate this. I think we've got enough now. So make our way back over here, and there's a level now. This one's pretty interesting, and I think that they use this stage concept again for Sonic Lost World. These were like the basis of the grinding levels in that game, which I actually really liked in that game. This one was very frustrating. This one was a hell of a romp to play through and record, which is why I'm getting a pretty okay run of this level here. The key to this level is don't ever go fast. I know it's kind of against the Sonic mentality, but just really try not to go fast. You're probably gonna die. There's a lot of just rails that lead to nowhere, or spiky things on them that lead to your death. You know, just a whole lot of not fun. But while I was recording this, there were a ton of pretty funny deaths that happened. So after we actually finish this level, I will show you all the really entertaining ways that I died in this level, because it was something else.
How's that?
It's pretty good, Sonic. Yeah, this concept was definitely done way better in Lost World. Those grinding levels in Lost World are a lot of fun. They're challenging, but they're a lot of fun, especially when you're going for the red rings. Anyway, here's a bunch of deaths that I had. I didn't realize that there was no, you know, that wasn't leading anywhere there. That one was one of the most incredible ones that I saved myself and then just died. Then it happened again, and then Sonic just went, he just took off. I think that one might be my favorite death I've ever had in a Sonic game. I mean, he hit his head on it. I'll never get tired of the Jason Griffith, just it's so overdone. Like, Roger Craig Smith's is pretty normal. It's just like a whoa. But nothing beats when you die as the werehog. Like, if you fall down a pit as the werehog, there is a death scream for you. Now, when I was recording this, I was getting really excited because I was like, oh my god, is it time? Is it time for my favorite level in the entire video game, and one of my favorite levels in all of Sonic the Hedgehog? Is it time for Rooftop Run? But it is not. I mean, it is, but it isn't. It's Rooftop Run, but it's the nighttime version, which is way inferior. Alright, so you don't really have a whole lot to offer to me, do you now, Professor Pickle? He's just gonna keep saying the same stuff. Yeah, these loading times are weird. I betcha these are different on the 360. Even though I think the PS3 is, like, superior... Well, I don't think. I'm fairly certain that the PS3 is superior hardware. But for some reason, this game... And Sonic 06. Sonic 06, the PS3 version, is worse than the 360 version, which is absolutely bonkers. And now here we have some more sped-up gameplay. Because if this was left in at normal speed, this video would be about 30 minutes long. And there's no way in hell I'm talking over a werehog level 30 minutes. So what we need here is a new power-up. It gives us the ability to wall jump, which is strange. I can't really think of many other Sonic games that ever had a wall jump. I think this is the first one, and then they would bring it back for other games like Colors and Generations. You know, wall jumping is always one of those things that I always equate to Mario. And they don't work good in this game. That's where Rooftop Run Daytime is. But soon, my sweet, soon we will get to my favorite level in the game. But yeah, the wall jumping doesn't work as well as it would in, say, a Mario game. Which is kind of unfortunate, but, I mean, what do you want? It's a Sonic game from 2008, right after Sonic 06, so of course it's not going to be the greatest thing you've ever played. I should have looked up, like, some sort of talking points for these, because this is, like, not good. I hate talking over werehog stages. I will say, upon replaying this game, I have to say at this point, the werehog probably has better boss battles than normal Sonic, which is, like, the one good thing I could give to the werehog. But everything else is just pretty dreadful. I guess I'll talk about Sonic Mania a little bit. I was talking about how I bought the collector's edition from Amazon. I bought it like a couple months ago when it first went off pre-order. And Amazon took like a good week to ship it. So, you know, a week after the game came out and it still hadn't shipped, I was just like, fuck this. I'm canceling the pre-order and I'm just buying it on the Switch. So yeah, it's like a week later. I managed to avoid most things. Like, I didn't want to know anything about the game. And I'm pretty happy with it so far. I'm at Flying Battery Zone, which... Is it just me, or is that zone, like, really bad? Is it, like, particularly annoying? Like, way worse than it was in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. But, so far, the new stages, Studiopolis, was the only one that I've played, and that was really cool. It had, like, really great music, and, yeah, the bosses are really cool. I really like that the old levels have enough new in them to make it not, like, oh, I just played Green Hill, and, like, you know, Chemical Plant, I just played these in Sonic Generations. The fact that there's a Dr. Eggman's Mean Bean Machine reference as a boss battle is absolutely insane to me. And I like that Knuckles' story starts differently from Sonic's. Sonic and Tails, they open up like Sonic 3 and Knuckles, whereas Knuckles starts up like Knuckles' story in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I don't know how many more times I can say the word Knuckles. But yeah, I'm definitely digging it so far. I think actually Knuckles might be my favorite character to play as in the game. And the special stages are pretty cool. Although I've never been a fan of having to search for the special stages. I always rathered like the Sonic 1, or was it, no, it's Sonic 2, where you just get to the goal ring with 50 rings and then jump into a ring. That was always my favorite way to do it. I don't like having to search the stages, because that kind of goes against, I think, what Sonic is, and Sonic is about speed. You don't want to be inching along through levels going, ooh, is there a goal rig around here? You know, that's why I think the Sonic Advance games never really got the special stages quite right. Because those were annoying. You had to find special springs in the stages. They just got progressively worse as the games went along. Like, you had to find, like, 7 medals in a level, and then you had to find 10 chows in a level. Like, that's not good. Just let me collect 50 rings and then jump into a goal ring at the end. But I am glad that it's the Sonic 3 way, where you just look around through the levels and jump in the rings, so you can get like multiple in a level. Because as Knuckles, I was able to find 2 special stages in the first level, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I'm definitely digging Sonic Mania so far. It just reminds me how bad I am at classic Sonic games. But it also reminds me how much I love them. And I know I haven't played any classic Sonic games on this channel, but I do prefer the 3D ones. I just think I get a lot more out of them. But, you know, this is the kind of game that reminds you, like, why you loved them in the first place. Like, I grew up with... Obviously, I grew up with Sonic, but I think the one I played the most was Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I played it on the PC. There was a PC version. I had, like, there was a disc that had that, Sonic R, and I think like 3D Blast on it. So those were games I played a lot as a kid. The first Sonic game I ever played, and the first game I ever played, period, was a game on the Sega Pico. It was called like Tales in the Music Maker or something like that. There were a couple Sonic games on there, and I had all of them, but that was the first one that I played. I was very young. So I've been a Sonic fan like lifelong, for as long as I can remember. That's probably why I'll always have a soft spot for Sonic, even when he gets bad. And the 90s definitely was the best time for Sonic. They were just throwing Sonic at everything. There was an anime OVA, which I think still holds up. There were like... How many different cartoons did he have? He had Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. He had... just Sonic the Hedgehog, and then he had Sonic Underground, which, like, one of those was good, and I'd say none of them really hold up well. And he had, like, Sonic Spinball. There were just so many different weird games that Sonic had. They just, Sega and Sonic Team, just threw Sonic at the wall and just, like, saw what stuck. And, you know, you can't really do that anymore. Sometimes they'll experiment, like with Lost World, but that's not usually what people want. I remember there was an arcade near me, and the day that I found Sonic the Fighters in that arcade, when I was like 10, was like the best day of my life. Because it's just, like, Sonic would just find you. There were all these games you just didn't know about. I just walked into an arcade one day, and there's a Sonic game that I've never played before. And then years later, it would be released on Sonic Gems Collection, which was great. And then I could revisit Sonic R, which I think was a great game. And really, the only good thing about it now is the soundtrack. But yeah, Sonic was real great for a while. And I'd say he has way more good games than bad games. He only has, like... honestly, he only really has Sonic 06. Shadow is a bad game, but for different reasons than Sonic 06. And Sonic Boom, that's not a Sonic game. Like, that's a... You know, it's not made by Sonic Team. It was made by Big Red Button, who are ex-Naughty Dog employees. I think you're supposed to be able to throw this box at the mini-boss here, but I don't think I get it to work correctly here. Oh no, I do. There should be more. That's a cool way to do that. Like, you get like a preemptive strike on this guy. They're not really that big of a deal, even, these big guys. Like, there's that one at the end of the first werehog stage, but this guy is really not that big a deal at all. Why is it a doorbell noise? I love the amount of personality the werehog has. It's like, that's it. He has alright bosses, and he's got personality. I like that he jumps into the goo monster and just kills him from the inside. I feel like they should have hit like a medal on top of that guy. Have I mentioned that I don't like talking over werehog stages? That's why I was talking about Sonic games and not what's actually happening on screen. I think I brought this up when Hank and I were playing Sonic Sunshine. What the fuck is wrong with... Wow, I just had like a Sonic stroke. Sonic Sunshine. When we were playing Super Mario Sunshine. But I think it would be absolutely hilarious if the Sonic the Hedgehog movie that they're making is like the first genuinely good video game movie. Like if it's the one that everyone agrees is like, hey, this movie's actually pretty good. I think that would be hilarious since Sonic, you know, he's had his troubles with games, and general people don't have a whole lot of faith in Sonic as a franchise anymore. Or at least they didn't for a while. So I think it would be hilarious that a genre of film that doesn't work very often, which would be video game films, if Sonic was the first one to truly get it right, that would be the funniest thing in the world to me. Also, if you're playing this level, don't do what I'm doing. Don't go in every single house here looking for Sun and Moon medals, because I think I found the one in the beginning, and then that's about it. There's like nothing in these other than rings. So it's a big waste of time. Boy, do I need a drink. I've been talking my mouth off for like 16 minutes. These videos might get to a point, I don't know how long this series is going to be yet, but it might get to the point where I have to pause them for a bit. Because these are going up beginning in September, and then in October I've got a few Halloween games planned. So I'd rather not have this and the Halloween games running at the same time. So I might take a break from like October to November. So after the Halloween marathon kind of ends, I'll be able to resume Sonic Unleashed. So that might happen at some point, but I don't know if this is going to be like 20 videos or that, something like that. Because I think I'm up to like part 10 now from where I've recorded, and I've done quite a bit in the game. But this game is deceptively long, as I've said quite a few times. It feels really long, and it is really long. But also, as I've said before, I might start speeding up these werehog stages. It's gonna get to a point where unless they get a little bit shorter, I'm not gonna have a whole lot to talk about. Because we've got maybe like 5 minutes left in the stage, and I'm literally talking about how I don't have anything to talk about. That's been my talking point right now. I think the next werehog level that we're gonna do is actually probably my favorite. This is so dull. But yeah, the next werehog level that we play is actually probably the only genuinely good one that I like playing. You know, replaying this game for the Let's Play, there are a few things that I've remembered. Like I said, the werehog actually has some pretty good boss battles. And there is one genuinely good werehog level. And yeah, it's so weird, like, when you have someone like me who does enjoy this style of game, you know, I love these beat-em-up games. I love, even when they're kind of simplistic, like God of War, I still enjoy them. But this one, it's just so simplistic. And it doesn't even really have to do with the gameplay, it's just the fact that it's a Sonic game. Because it's so against Sonic. There's nothing about this that goes... If you were to show this to someone from the 1990s. Like, if you were to show this to, like, me playing Sonic 3 and Knuckles for the first time, I would go, what the hell is this? This isn't a Sonic game. Why is it going so slow? Why is the game gotta slow down like this? I don't know why there's even that many enemies down there. You could just completely ignore them. The next section that we're going to get to is actually not that bad. It's a platforming section. I think that's another place where the werehog actually does kind of stand out. Because this game, with normal Sonic, the platforming is really quite poor because of how slippery Sonic is. You know, he's too fast when you're free roaming. In the levels where you're just moving forward, it's fine, but there are some times where you actually do need to slow down and, you know, plot out your movements. Those do not work. But in a section like this with the werehog, it works perfectly fine. Like, I actually enjoy the platforming sections. I like that you can use his stretchy Monkey D. Luffy arms to grab platforms that are a bit higher above you. So these sections I actually do genuinely enjoy. But it doesn't mean I'd want to sit through this this level however long I've been doing this. I think over 15 minutes, I think, at this point. You know, I wouldn't want to sit through this again just to get to this section. But if the werehog stages were more just simple platforming like this, I think I'd enjoy them more. Less beat 'em up, less searching around a boring city looking for switches and stuff. Which is, I'm sure, what some people are still doing now. They still haven't found a Nintendo Switch, so they're searching around boring cities for a Switch. I found a Switch pretty, very luckily. I was going into work one day, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stop in Target and see if they have a Switch. It was like 11 in the morning, and they had two left. So I bought it, and then I called my friend Chris, and I was like, Chris, the Target has one Switch left. If you want it, go get it. So he immediately drove over and got it, so I got myself and him a Switch, essentially. And just the other day, Hank texted me. He was like, "Hey, I'm looking at a Switch right now." But he's such a big dumb idiot. He didn't get it. He's just like, "No, I don't think I'm gonna get it now." So he'll never see one again. This part confused me for some reason. It's supposed to lock in there, but it didn't. I guess I didn't push it far enough. So I thought that it was on a timer, and I had to run across it before it went down, which actually does make more sense as a gameplay mechanic. And I'm shocked that that wasn't intentional. But yeah, I just completely missed. And there's the amazing, amazing werehog yell as you fall. Love when characters just make noises for no reason. Every single action they do. I don't know why some of these enemies are here. Like, I have no clue why those two enemies are there. I don't think you can use them to reach anywhere, at least not those two. So I really don't understand those two. These guys make sense, because that's how you get across to where you need to go. Those two up top, on the other hand, I really couldn't tell you. See this? Like, I like this. I like that you can use enemies to chain together to move across areas. That is a horrible noise. What the hell's going on with the audio? That is terrible. It sounds like someone's buzzsawing. So yeah, thankfully, that is the end of the level. Praise be Jeebus. Yeah, sometimes you don't have to get a gold ring, sometimes it's like a key. I think now we have 2 halves of a key. I love that he walks off. But yeah, now we have 2 halves of a key, which I think means we can get to the next temple. Which should mean that we've got a boss battle coming up, which is pretty cool. Or maybe not. Maybe we just get to the temple. I don't actually remember what comes next. I really hope that the next video isn't a werehog level as well. I have a very bad feeling that it's going to be. But if it is, it's a good one. So I guess join me next time where we will both find out what happens, what kind of level we're going to play next. So see you then.